Well, I went to Whistler today, and I did another video with no audio, and while some may find it humorous, for me it's pissing me off, because that's twice now in the last 2 days I've done a video where the computer, my laptop, wasn't plugged into something, and it recorded no audio. So both times I know the microphone was plugged in, the red light was on. I'm going to have to mess around with it, I guess. To me, it seems like it wants to use the default settings. I've gone through this before. I went through this with my old computer, where when it was unplugged, it wouldn't use my proper webcam. It would go back to the default setting. It would use the webcam that came with the computer, which was just awful. So it's a work in progress. Whistler was great. We also stopped off at Shannon Falls. We stopped off at Portage Cove. We had a great day, and lots of pictures are all over my personal Facebook about it. We've got some viewpoint pictures. It's great stuff. But I have nothing on the channel for it. Nothing to show for it. So let's discuss what I discussed when I was in Whistler. Kovalchuk is staying in the KHL. Color me shocked. I honestly, I get the feeling that Kovalchuk is using the NHL's leverage. And it's funny because Kuznetsov reportedly used the KHL's leverage. Threatened Brian McClellan that if he didn't get what he wanted, that he could bolt to the KHL for a couple years and come back later and get the money he wanted, knowing that Washington's over a barrel. Not exactly... If that's true, that's not cool. I'm fine with players using some leverage in their meetings with the GM, but don't threaten them. And when the threats come out like that, I don't like it. It's unprofessional and it's unnecessary to threaten your GM. And then what does that do for players who are going to play with him next year? Knowing that he threatened to bolt for another league, and that as a result, the cap spending is here where it should have been here, and he's kind of hosed them. Like, it looks like he probably got $2 million over what he would have got otherwise, because he was threatening to leave. Now think about it. They signed Burakovsky today for $3 million. That $2 million is a big difference. This is why when people talk about, you throw away contracts, like, oh, it's less than $1 million, it's less than this, it's less than that. It all adds up. It all adds up under the cap, and when you've got wasted money under the cap, it'll come back and bite you. And it might be a $3 million contract, it might be a $4 million contract, it could be $7 million, it could be $8 million. And once you start knocking on the door of that salary cap, every dollar counts. For Washington, they're not only knocking on the door, they're past it. They're over capacity right now. And I'm not sure what more they can do. They traded Marcus Johansson for nothing, after losing Schmidt for nothing. And to me, if McClellan had known how things were going to go with Kuznetsov, he would have done his protection lists differently. I think we would have seen Johansson go to Vegas, and then at least Washington would have kept Schmidt. I think his plan was, all right, well, Grubauer will probably go to Vegas, or we'll be able to make a trade here. I think he overestimated the value of a goaltender, and now he's stuck. So the last RFA for the Capitals now is Grubauer, and they still got a lot of spaces to fill up here, and it's not going to be easy. Another thing too, in regards to the whole, well, it's just a contract, it's fine if it doesn't work out mentality. And this is something I've gone over before. So you have a young, skilled forward. Doesn't matter who he is. And you sign him to, $1 million or less show-me contract. But he's just a skill player. He's just a skilled forward. He's not defensive. He's not of that mindset. So the only useful place to have him is top 6. You can't have him in the bottom 6. So now he has to make your top 6. Well, if he's not quite good enough for your top 6, wherever you put him in your bottom 6, he's probably going to be a liability. Because in the case of Yakupov and some of these other guys, they're not going to be great defensively. they're not going to be as defensively responsible. So now you can't really play him in the bottom 6 either. You can't waive him to the American Hockey League because he's got to go on waivers and anybody can grab him. What do you do? And that's why I don't believe in throwaway contracts. I believe in inviting guys to camp. I have no problem with inviting guys to camp. When I see a team invite 3 or 4 guys to camp, they're veterans, they're young guys, awesome. If he earns a contract and he earns a spot on the roster, great. Vancouver had that with guys like Jack Skilly. Last year, Tuomo Ruutu tried out, didn't quite make it. Like, I'm fine with that. That's good. And it creates more intrigue in training camp than you're going to get otherwise. Most of the time, these guys are going to get cut. But I don't believe there's a such thing as a throwaway contract. Oh, it doesn't matter. Just throw it at them. Because at the end of the year, when you're looking at playoff rosters, it's very rare to look and go, well, there's this guy. He's a throwaway. It's fine. It doesn't matter. His contract's not important. That $1 million is just fun money. I very rarely see teams do that who succeed and go far in the postseason. Those throwaway contracts don't really happen. So there's that. And in Pittsburgh's case, that's what they have to do. The Rangers signed David Desharnais for 1 year for $1 million. Good deal. Good deal for the Rangers. There's no risk. And I'm saying that for this reason. Desharnais can play third line. Desharnais belongs in a bottom 6. Desharnais is not the offensive player he was before in Montreal. And Desharnais on a small cap hit, playing third line, is useful to have. Because he can play defense. Because he can play that bottom 6 role. He's not physical at all. But in a bottom 6 role, he's useful. So I don't mind that $1 million being spent by the Rangers because I can see the spot that he'll take in the roster. And how this can free the Rangers up. And they can probably play him on the wing. He's older now. They can probably play him on the wing. And it's not going to hurt them and it's not going to hurt him. So you guys can let me know what you think in the comment section below. Whistler Daver. I kept my eyes peeled while I was in Whistler. I did not have a low profile. I had my Philadelphia jersey on the whole time. I think I was shining brighter than the sun. And yeah, I didn't go door to door asking around if anybody knew who I was. I didn't have anybody ask me who I was today. A lot of tourists and not a hockey crowd. So I was just invisible. And then when I did the video that had no audio, there were some interesting reactions going on around me with that. I can get into that again tomorrow. But I figured now that I'm home, it's a long trip. We took about 3 hours coming home, 3.5 coming home, 4 hours coming home. Almost 4. I think we left at about 5:30-ish.
Yeah, we left there about 5:30.
So it's almost 4 hours coming home. So long trip up. So we've been on the road about 7 hours today. A lot of stop-offs on the way down. We had one stop-off on the way up. Great trip all the way from Vancouver up to Whistler. That whole sea to sky experience, I'd never had that before. It's the first time I'd ever been up there. And as soon as I saw Shannon Falls, I'm like, well, since my name's Shannon, clearly I own it, so I better go see it and check it out. And it is fantastic. That's a fantastic waterfall. Bridal Falls kind of sucks by comparison, and I'll probably tell it that the next time I head up to Bridal Falls. It has to smarten up and be better and be taller, because the falls totally have control over that. All right, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, because we all know that those buttons are our friends. And for anybody talking about production and stuff like that, welcome to the channel. Browse through videos and you'll find out why I shoot videos, where I shoot them, and how I shoot them. And I welcome each and every one of you. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.